Hi, guys. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of our Backstories. I have here a good friend from the HIV activism. Hi, Jabar. What's up?
Hi, Stephen. Hello, everybody. Maayong araw sa inyong tanan, if that is right. Assalamualaikum.
Yeah,
Mabuhay.
correct. And thank you for being here for this backstory. Hindi mako-complete ang season pag wala ka din. So,
Ay,
it's an honor to parang, hindi kasi parang, di ba, we've just met this year. So, technically,
aha.
it's, well, new friendship and nakakatuwa na it came flawlessly and an effort lang siya na naging yung flow ng even though we haven't met yet in person, I've known you for since you were active in the advocacy as well. So yun lang, nakaka-happy to have new friends during the pandemic. So,
Oh, thank
oy,
you, thank
totoo
you.
yan.
Hoy,
Totoo yan.
likewise, Stephen. Likewise. Hindi ko nga alam eh.
Mm.
Sorry, pareho tayo madaldal. Madaldal din ako. So I'll take
Oo.
space. Sabi ko nga sa partner ko pag kinukuwento ko, it's so nice to be able to establish friendship online. It's
Yeah,
like pen pal in the old days. 'Di
di
ba?
ba?
People in the old days can establish friendship just writing eh.
Yeah.
And then they will just meet after years and years. So now it's high tech. It's like, parang nakakatuwa lang. And I can't wait to see you and
Yeah.
Inad and party together, even, the others like si Ben and Carlo.
Oo.
I'd like to meet them personally, all of you.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, of course. And well, very very soon that will happen when things are okay. Kasi parang nag-open na din yung mga borders. So hopefully. And then ano naman, parang I think it's also with the connection of people. Parang importante din siya. Like during the pandemic, 'di ba? It's one of the struggles na we all got stuck in.
Struggles? Char.
Yes, it is for others, and we
Totoo naman.
yeah, we need to validate that na nangyayari.
Lalo na sa if I may add lang, no? Lalo na sa mga kinesthetic people like me. I'm very kinesthetic. I like hugging. I like touching. I
Oh,
like cuddling. Charot. But and there's so much inhibitions because of COVID, 'di ba? There's
correct.
so much you cannot shake hands, you cannot even you greet, and we were hardwired before doing that, 'di ba? When we meet
True.
somebody. Ngayon, ano na lang, hi, hello, no contact, mga ganun.
Tapos
Kaya,
nakaganyan lang, just
no,
hands.
ganyan lang.
Oh my God. Ano ba to? Di ba parang sanay tayo
Mm.
with the best and all. But well, these 2 years really have lessons and, napakadaming it's learning experience for everyone. So I want to know, kumusta, like how you've been doing since the COVID pandemic happened? Like, anong ginawa nito sa'yo, sa mga kaibigan mo at sa relationships mo with everyone?
Ang daming areas na pwedeng puntahan ng usapan na to, no? But siguro
Yes.
unahin natin in terms of friendship, sige. In terms of friendship, I think, no, in terms of family, I'd like to start with family. In terms of family, I think kaming magpapamilya noon, we're not used into group chat. Alam mo yun, yung online.
Yeah.
Because we are used to going out, pupunta sa restaurant or kakain pag may birthday. Alam mo yun, ang usual hangout namin, dampa. If you know dampa, sa
Yes.
may makapagal yung seafood.
Mm-mm.
Kasi nga, may Muslim side ako eh. So, hindi kami pork lover. So, the seafood is something that we look forward to, lalo na nabubuhay pa yung tatay ko. No? So,
Mm.
yan. But because of COVID, so, nabuhay ang group chat ng family.
Mm.
We are so connected with the online. Mas
Mm.
naging connected kami, mas sharing of pictures na dati hindi. Which is, I think, it kind of helped. And especially, hopefully, sa mga pamangkin din namin, habang lumalaki na sila, and in a span of 2 years, ang bilis nila lumaki, no? I hope we can include them in our GC kasi hindi sila kasama, kami lang magkakapatid. Yung alam mo yung mga adult talk. But I think the good thing here is, yun, mas naging connected even if we are physically distant.
Mm-mm.
So pag kami pagkakataon to see each other, pag kami mga birthdays and lalo na nung lumuluwag na yung pandemic, we really maximize our time together and we really enjoy our bonding and our kwentuhan. Nakakamiss kaya yun? Yung normal na kwentuhan.
Yeah, that's very true.
Ganun.
And ano din, parang I think lahat nag-adjust, di ba? Nag-digital din. Well,
Correct.
pero ang siguro, yun yung brighter side na naisipin natin, no? Na nag-adjust na.
Correct, correct,
So
correct, correct.
going back to the question, for your friendship.
Friendship, ayan. Friendship, I think, it's almost the same then. Ito yung sinasabi ng mga researchers nga that we are hardwired for connection, for communication. So I think our digital platform, our technology allows us to, thank God there's Facebook, thank God there's Viber, and daming portal to be connected. Thank God there's Zoom, so hindi nawala ang connection. Yun nga lang nawala ng opportunity to have some drinking sessions, to
Yeah.
have some, a little party or here, a little party over there. Medyo mas na tawag dito na nabawas-bawasan talaga. But I think nag-adapt ang bawat isa, mas naging mas flexible, in terms of connecting with one another. And you get to also, ang kagandahan nga doon, di ba? Even yung other friends mo that you have not talked for a long time, you get to make kamusta with them that, yun nga, nabubuhay yung connection ninyo. Even on a digital, kahit digital way lang siya. So, yun.
It's very true. Parang napaka-evident din nga. Ang daming ginawa. Like, madami tayong mga friends na talagang we connected. And then, yung iba, parang nakakagulat nga na they were surprised pa, di ba, na you have that bond pa pala, na hindi pa pala nawawala. Kasi sometimes super busy and then hindi mo, wala ka ng time. And this time, parang, okay, you're just stuck at home and then you need to do something for to connect with people. And isa din yun sa lesson ng pandemic.
I also remember, if I may also add, tama ka din. I also remember, meron nga akong hindi kinakausap na friend eh. For a longest time, meron kaming rift or something, nag-fall out. But because of the pandemic, you get to be more forgiving and to be more tolerant. So, mabait naman kasi si friend, nagla-like siya from time to time. So I decided to like it also, to message him from time to time, to message him back. And yun, I think it may not be as the same as when we were younger, yung friendship, yung bonding namin before, but I think there is the, what we call this, there is much peace in terms of connecting with him. And I can't wait to see him, perhaps if given the time na magkita kami physically, then I would hug him and make kamusta with him, have coffee with him, and
that's
touch me.
Yeah, parang kailangan din natin, but also we need to note that meron din tayong mga tao na we need to cut off at some point.
I agree with that.
What's your take on that?
I definitely agree on it, Stephen. No, I block people if I need to. For my mental health, for my sanity. And I pray for them. Really, totoo to. I pray for them because I also don't want to put bad vibes on me. Because it's not easy to cut off people actually. Sometimes unfollow pag hindi naman masyadong grave yung ginawa. No? Kasi baka may nagawa din naman ako dun sa tao, hindi natin alam. But I think it's very important that we set personal boundaries talaga. Healthy personal boundaries, especially with people whom I think kind of toxic, not to judge them because sometimes you get to see, kasi ako yung tipo lalo na ako, I consider myself apolitical. Wala naman ako masyadong sinaside, kasi my philosophy in life, buntot ko, hila ko. Masira man ng Philippine economy, pero yung household economy ko, kailangan kong itaguyod. Alam mo yung ganong filosofiya ko. So, sometimes, I hope that people would understand that in the end, you get your power back. Don't give away your power to Um, ayan, nagiging political tuloy yung tone ng usapan natin. Just
But
don't give away your
yeah,
power to other people. Yun lang yung point ko doon.
that point lang. Anyway,
Mm.
so thank you so much for that, Jabar. So since we
You
were,
can call me Bang. People, my friends, my close friends call me Bang.
oh,
Jabar kasi Jabang.
uh,
So that's my nickname, Bang.
your nickname is
Bang.
Ban. Okay, okay.
Yes.
I just knew that. Okay, so
Let's end it with a bang. Char.
end it with a bang. O sige, ito na yung bang question ko for you.
Ayan.
Just to connect, I want to know, of course, this is really, this, I know this is gonna personal. If the question is all about your backstory, so I want to know from how it all started, like the bang, and then kung paano ka ngayon, like up to where
Naging
you are
bakla.
today. Pwede naman
Ah,
yun, of course, it's really part of it. But your journey, take us through
my
your journey
journey.
and take us through your backstory. Go on.
Okay. Sige. Well, first of all, thank you for giving me that chance, the opportunity to share my backstory. My life has always been an open book. Um, I have series of coming out.
Mm,
I have series of coming out, especially in my family.
mm,
I remember my first coming out then was when I was 17 years old, turning 18. It was the time that I was also trying to live a religious life. I was active in the church
mm,
of a youth organization, Catholic charismatic organization, with
mm.
the intention. Pero I have Muslim blood. So nakita mo
Yeah,
yung cosmopolitan
I
background
know.
ng buhay ko, 'di ba? 'Di ba may Islam side, yet I would go to Christianity and everything. So naghahalo-halo talaga siya, not to mention
Mm,
at a very young age I realized when I there was a time kasi, and sorry ha, medyo nagdi-disorganize ang thought ko, but I remember when I was in high school, alam ko na something is kind of different.
okay.
I already realized when I was younger na parang attracted ako sa mga kalaro kong batang lalaki.
Mm,
And sometimes I would try to make chancing, with the kalaro. Ganun ako ka-advance, I don't know, na parang may kuryente or parang merong something
mm,
that kunyari makikipaglaro ko or akbayan ko siya pero may konting yakap na. A very young age, can you imagine elementary high school?
yeah.
And then one moment, nag-uusap yung mami ko, yung kapatid ko, and then they were talking behind me. Then they didn't know that nasa kusina yata ako, nasa taas, I'm overhearing them. And they told me, bakla ba si Jabar? Parang bakla si Jabar. Yung mga ganon.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Siyempre, to my mind, shoots, nag-uusap sila sa kabaklaan ko. Parang, and then, siyempre, may
Iya pa
papaisip
sila.
ako.
Yeah.
And the tone, yes, of course, and the tone of the
Oo.
of the chat, of the talk, na parang, masama ba maging bakla? Yung parang ganun because they're
Mm,
talking behind your back.
mm,
I think it has always been centuries na yung ganyan, no? That it's a taboo to be gay growing up, at least in our culture, in my family, no? But later on, I'll tell you my story kung in terms of acceptance and all. But that time, naisip ko na, shoots, kailangan ko magpakalalaki. So, usap ako sa kuya ko, sabi ko, Tol, turuan mo naman ako. We're four. I'm the youngest. I have two sisters, ate-ate, then kuya, then ako. Ganyan yung arrangement. Sabi ko sa kanya, Tol, turuan mo ako mag-basketball. Gusto ko mag-basketball. Turuan mo ako mag-bilyar. Yung mga ganong gawaing
mm,
lalaki.
mm.
Kasi alam niya, homeboy lang ako. School, bahay, laro-laro ng mga tao-tauhan ko, laruan. That's it. Mataya-taya lang dyan sa tapat ng bahay ko. Hindi katulad niya na lumalabas, pumupunta ng
Yeah.
riles,
Mm,
manghuhuli ng gagamba, makikipag-away, mababarangay. Medyo goody-goody boy ako.
mm,
Kaya gusto ako ni daddy, ng tatay ko, kasi, uy, good boy si Jabar. Pero
mm.
actually, girly-girly sa loob. Yon, good girl. So, nung sabi niya, sure ka, gusto mo mag-basketball? Sinali na ako sa liga. Kaya pag nakahawak ako ng bola, noon nagsisigawan yung mga buong barangay. Ah! Kasi nga, alam nila, malambot ako. And then they are seeing me playing basketball
Mm.
sa barangay, Shoot mo, mga ganyan. Things
Mm.
like that. But it was an evolutionary process.
Yeah.
And then college came, and then syempre nakakatikim ka na ng laman on the side with some friends. Pwede ba ikwento yun dito?
I don't mind.
Nakaka- oh, you get to have, I think my first sex experience was high school, third year high school,
Yeah.
fourth year, yung all out.
Mm.
So nakatikim ka na ng ganyan. Actually, nung elementary ako, nakakatikim na ako ng kiss-kiss. Diba?
But your
So yun
first
na,
experience was,
ha?
like yung first sexual experience mo was college na.
High school.
High
Third
school.
year,
Okay. Not
oo.
third year.
Like BJ, mga ganyan.
Mm.
So I think, very all out na ako dito, ha? Tapos, and then college, ayan, sabi ko parang, shit, parang may mali. So in my mind, nagpi-filter ako.
Mm.
Mali yata ang maging bakla eh. Parang ganun, di yata tama to. So naglalaban talaga siya. I don't know, call it identity crisis or denial,
Yeah.
sexual denial or what. So I went to this. So I in my college, I am a graduate from PLM. May chapel. Punta
Oh.
akong chapel, dasal ako. Nirecruit ako ng youth organization doon, Christian Charismatic Group. Cut the long story short, nagpaka banal-banalan ako. Quote and quote, 'di ba? Nagsakristan ako every lunch, magse-serve ako sa misa, may lunch, may mass kami every lunch. Twice a month ako mag-confess, yung mga ganon, because I will always think masturbation is bad,
Mm.
having attraction with another guy is bad. I even tried courting women, kaklase, really trying to straighten up my life. And on the side, behind my back, nagiging judgmental tuloy ako sa mga kapwa ko bakla or sa mga gay
Correct.
community. Parang in my mind, ba't di kayo lumaban? Ako lumalaban ako na magpaka-straight, magpaka-mabuti, maayos.
Mm.
Pero ba't kayo hindi kayo lumalaban? Ba't ang saya-saya nyo maging bakla? Parang ganun yung ang iingay nyo, mga ganyan-ganyan. So yun, but it was really, for me, it's like an internal battle of accepting who I am, even my sexuality and my preference. Kahit nung young professional na ako, I remember pa nung second year college, ito yung coming out ko. You can actually watch this sa Paano Kita Pasasalamatan kay Judy Ann Santos. Na-feature ako doon. And then merong ano pa doon, reenactment si Marquis Strome kung paano ako nag-out. Almost nakuha nila yung scene. Kasi the scene was, miyak ako. Miyakap ko nanay ko. Kasi nga, churchy boy na ako, nagsasakristan. So may guilt. So one night, I hug my mom, niyakap ko, umiiyak ako. Kasi hindi ako nagsasalita. And then my mother, sabi niya, bakit? Umiiyak. Tagal. Tagal namin, pinagmamasdan niya lang ako. Kasi sinabi niya, bakla ka. Ganyan lang ako ni mother. Siyempre siguro nagka-hint na siya. Sabi ko, opo. Halika, hinatak niya ako sa kwarto niya. Pinagmamasdan niya lang ako, matagal akong iyak. Yung iyak na parang bata, gulgol.
Yeah.
Anong gusto mong gawin? Gusto mong sabihin sa daddy mo? Sige po. Eh di yan, bumaba kami sa sala. Sa sala, tatay ko, dalawang ate ko, kusina yung kuya ko. So press release, sabi ni mother. Oh, Mike, yung anak mo may pagtatapat daw. Yan. Panoorin niyo yan. Paano kita pasasalamatan, reenactment. Although medyo OA si Marky, pero carry lang. Ano yun? Sabi ni Daddy. Siyempre, Muslim, matigas magsalita. Dad, bakla po ako. Sabi ni Daddy. Hindi naman siguro. Baka naman confused ka lang. Eh, na-confused din ako dati. Nagbabasketball ka naman. Baka lang confused ka. Parang, so in other words, medyo in denial si Daddy. After that, hindi na siya na-discuss, hindi siya na-process ng tama. Diba? So it was really a struggle. Even when I was a young professional person, still trying to live a straight life, trying to be more, tawag dito, trying to be more, hello po, trying to be more, tawag dito, holy. Ganun eh. May bad effect siya sa akin in a way. Pero may good effect din siya later, sabihin ko. Mahabang kwento ko, sorry Stephen.
Go lang.
Okay lang. So, in my early 20s, I would still 21 to 25, leader pa ako ng church, worship leader. Brothers and sisters, I sense that the Lord, mga ganyan, char.
Oh,
Oo,
God.
worship, music min pa, gitara, eme. But, behind the mask, there's a struggle. There's really a struggle. And
Yeah.
it's kind of, although naka-move on na ako doon,
Mm-mm.
looking back ngayon, yan tuloy na-reminisce, no? Ang hirap ng buhay ko noon. Kasi
Mm.
hindi ka totoo eh.
Yeah.
Ang bigat-bigat, ang struggle, yung energy. It's not a free-flowing energy.
True.
So when I came out, when I was 26, because of a certain incident with a churchmate, alam
Mm-mm.
mo na nangyari, syempre.
Okay.
Sexually, something happened to the both of us. And I think the other guy, I know he's confused, but he's also in denial, told him to the leader, and then the leader told to my leader, and then my leader talked to me, and then they told me, we have to let you go because of what you did.
Oh.
Because it's the second time na rin kasi nangyari. So
Okay.
medyo ganun talaga sila, no? Medyo strict sila sa mga ganyan.
Yeah.
They even have a retreat called Usapang Lalaki Tol.
Oh my God.
ULT.
This is like this,
Talagang
no? Parang, alam mo yung about the conversion therapy, something.
may pagka-ganon
Yeah,
sila.
somehow.
Pagka-ganon. Role of a sister, role of a brother. Talagang black and white.
Yeah.
And I'm really trying to comply to that kind of life, way of life.
Mm-mm.
Dalawa lang yan, ang discernment mo in the end. Holy life ka ba? Meaning, magpapare, magmamadre. Single blessedness ka ba? Layman ka, pero
Mm.
single. Or married life ka ba? Mag-aasawa ka. Yan lang ang pipiliin mo in the end when you discern
Oh,
for your lifelong discernment process. Mga ganyan,
correct.
nakakaloka yan. Tuloy, nare-recall ko. Tagal ko na pinalimutan niya. And then eventually, because of, again, going back to the incident, sabi ko, I cannot live this double standard life anymore.
Mm.
I sought help. I'm not saying the whole church is closed-minded. There are people in the church who are open-minded,
Yeah.
and I have brothers and sisters who are still connected with me, and they felt me, they sensed me, they saw the struggle, and there's respect, mas nangibabaw yung friendship. But I totally went out of that church organization, I think when I was 27, 26. And that's the time I discovered malate, gumikimik na ako.
Mm.
So, but the process there was like, parang I'm coming out of galit or I'm coming out of
So may rage.
may
Okay.
rage, may rage. Yeah, exactly. So every week nasa Malate ako, laman ako ng Malate. Kahit puyat, from work, puyat sa gimmick, magwo-work, mamaya magmamalate na naman. Friday, Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday pa nga nun. Siyempre, I'm in my 20s, di ba? Parang
Yeah,
prime
you're
of my
enjoying it.
life.
Oo.
Tapos I was really surprised to see ocean of gay men
Diba?
in the
Living
bar. Oo,
perfect.
that I was not exposed back then.
Mm-mm.
I was not. Alam mo naman yung kapanahunan natin noon, wala pa namang
Correct.
social media, wala
Mm-mm.
pa namang mga alter, Twitter, grinder, wala pa niyan. So yun, so that's the time I established my circle of friends in the gay world, in the gay
Mm-mm.
community, having access to the bed bar, di ba? In fairness, VIP, so walang pila, dire-diretso, yung mga tipong ganon.
Yeah. Oo.
Sex dito, sex doon. But I try to, of course, live as much as possible as safe sex at that time kasi unti-unti nabuksan na rin ako sa HIV advocacy awareness na you have
Mm-mm.
to be careful, diba? So I'm really trying myself to, di ba? Careful. Pero doon ko na nare-release unti-unti itong rage na to. It's
Yeah.
like Dark Phoenix. Charat.
Yeah.
Jean Grey. Charat. Um, so ganun siya. So that was my late 20s, then 30s, then naging Yun na. And that's it. The rest is history. Ito na yung hanggang sa I'm in my 40s now. I'm turning 40 next week. Can you
Oh my
imagine how many
God, advance
centuries?
happy birthday.
Yes, I know. Ang
So 39
bilis.
ka, 39 ka pa ngayon. So my God, you're
Aha.
40. Ang
It's a
saya.
big 40.
I
40 is the new
know.
20s.
May totoo yan. Pero anyway, ano lang, meron ako interesting question. Ano yung parang, di ba, syempre nag-iba yung processing ng thoughts mo din during that time na from that experience na you get out from the church and you thought na yun yung way for you to, to find or to understand your sexuality, but eventually hindi pala. Ano yung parang naging lesson mo from that experience, and then i-connect din natin siya nung yung nag-rage ka na. Ano yung parang mga lessons mo doon for those two?
Ang dami.
Sige
One
lang,
of
you
the
just have.
very first, sige, top of mind. I think the value of acceptance and
Mm,
embracing the totality of who you are.
mm,
I think that's the best lesson that I've ever learned, that hindi naman tinuturo sa school yan or sa bahay eh.
yeah,
And being able to embrace, especially for the LGBT community,
correct.
especially in particular in my generation. I don't know with your generation, pero medyo dikit naman tayo. No? We
Close naman.
tend there is a tendency to deny one's sexuality
True.
if in case he is part or she is part of the LGBT community, because of the somewhat taboo thing,
Mm,
immoral thing,
mm,
demonizing sex and all of that. So, but eventually what I realized is, good or bad, dark or light, it's part of who I am, who I
correct.
really am. So it's very liberating, in fact. I'm not saying it's an overnight thing. I find
Yeah,
it very liberating for me personally, in the deepest recesses of my heart. Char! to to really embrace. It's very empowering to be comfortable with who I am. Before, I would observe, ang laki ng parang ilang ko or discomfort when I'm talking with a group of straight men. Hindi ko kaya
ah,
dalhin ang sarili ko.
yeah.
Perhaps because of the background that I had a
Mm,
military Muslim dad who's very strong, whose energy is very machismo,
yeah. Mm,
hindi mushy, hindi
mm,
cuddly.
mm,
So syempre, ganun siya, no?
mm,
So I'm not saying he's bad. He was raised that way. He was trained that way because of his military background. But he's a very good person. He's a very, very loving person, my dad. Yun.
mm.
It's just that perhaps he didn't have the tool how to deal with it. I think guess many of our parents didn't have that. How
Actually,
to handle a gay child or a gay son or a
oh,
gay, because they were straight and
mm,
ang thinking lang nila is linear,
uh-uh,
gray, black and white, 'di ba? So hindi natin masisi.
yeah. Totoo yan na parang there's no point of blaming na parang
Oh no.
ano yung good thing na nangyari is
Mhm.
they've been good parents to us, but
Although
we are,
younger,
'di ba? We are
correct.
privileged na hindi tayo dumaan sa we
Yes.
don't want to invalidate the experience of other people, of other
Of
LGBT
course, of course.
comrades, 'di ba? Pero sa
Although when I was younger, may konting galit ako sa kanila eh. Sa
mm,
mother ko, sa father ko. Mahabang sorry ato, be, sorry. Because my mother left me when I was a kid, went abroad as a nurse. And then my father would be assigned most of the time in Mindanao. So I would be left alone with my
oo,
yaya, with my nanay-nanayan, si nanay tita ko. I call her
mm,
nanay tita. Sa kanya ako lumaki. Tapos umalis din si nanay when I was 17 years old or 16 nung nag-college na ako. Kaya nga feeling ko may abandonment issue ako eh. That's why it took me a while to have a good relationship with another person. Kasi
no?
it's either, oo, may, totoo yan,
Well, actually puwede.
mamanifest siya eh, sisingaw siya eh. It's either, ha, i- iiwanan mo ko, uunahan kita. May ganun ako. Ngayon ko na lang nare-recall yan.
Mm,
Or kaya, is my signal still okay?
yep,
Clear naman ako.
mm,
Or kaya, yung tipong, ayaw mo sa akin, I'll make you love me, I'll make you, alam mo, may ganun ako lagi. I will always go after for somebody I think who's unavailable
Yeah.
emotionally.
Mm.
Kaya lahat magsisingawan lahat ng issue ng tao pag hindi na-process ng tama.
That's very true. Parang later in life mo siya malalaman yung mga trauma mo during your childhood, 'di ba? Which is somehow well, learning experience, but when you get to realize that it's there, na parang ay, yun pala yung, 'di ba? May connect. And then of course to where you are right now, parang you have a wider understanding now. Okay, that those things happen kasi yun na nga. Parang it should happen that way. So anyway, I know that I've asked you this sa parang pre-show na you were close to your mom. So I want to know on this perspective, what's the best advice of your mom that you didn't take?
I didn't take, did
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
Shit, memory lane. Iisipin ko pa.
Sige lang,
Meron
whatever
ba?
comes first. Oo.
You know, the thing about me and my mom, wala kasi kami masyadong super deep conversation. Pero masaya kami mag-usap. Or totoo.
Oo. Mm-mm.
Ngayon
Ngayon
growing
na,
up, but,
it was a
but when
present.
I was younger,
Ah,
hindi siya open. She also has her own issues. She even have her mental concern growing up.
mm,
So, she was diagnosed with certain mental disorder. Pero ngayon, maintenance na lang talaga siya. Pero okay siya, matino siya ngayon. So, yun lang yung ano niya. Going back, if there's advice na hindi ko tinake, hindi kasi siya ma-advise na tao.
o sige, ano na lang, kung
Ano
hindi
siya kung
kaya.
saan ka masaya, dun siya.
Mm,
Parang eventually ganun siya. Gusto mo yan? Masaya ka ba dyan? Di go. Ganun siya.
no.
Mm-mm.
Pero right now, like sabi mo nga, your relationship with her was fun and very raw and open. Ano yung parang maha-highlight mo like this time na you think na would be the parang kung hindi siya advice, pwedeng guiding principle from her?
Guiding principle ni mother.
Mm.
Follow your heart. Ganun lang naman siya.
No?
Kung anong oo. Cliche as it may sound. Kung anong dinikta ng puso mo, gawin mo. May pagka-supportive talaga yan si mother. Many times. Like, I remember back in 2020, 2011, Diyos ko, meron akong hinabol na lalaki sa Boracay. Alam niya yan. Sobra ko siyang down, parang head over heels ako sa lalaking to. And then, she even gave me some pocket money. Go. Punta ka dun sa Boracay. And then when I was in Boracay, nangamusta pa siya. Sabi niya, kamusta na kayo ni ano?
Yeah.
Okay ba kayo? Sabi ko, wala ma. Bigla akong umiyak. Ba't ka umiiyak? Walang nangyayari. Hindi niya talaga ako gusto. So, yung mga ganon. So,
No?
yeah. Kasi I remember my mom told me, ito side story na lang.
Mm.
Yung mga, yan nga, late 20s to early 30s, yan kami mas naging close ni mother. And then, I have this friend who has a third eye or who can sense, perhaps, may hula, may ganun siyang talent.
Clairvoyant, mga
And
ganun.
then one time, binisita ko siya, tiga San Juan siya, and then sabi niya, nagluluto siyang ganun, bigla na lang magbubulong sa iyo ng kung ano-ano. Uy,
Mm.
magkakapera ka, may ganito. Which is parang tama yung mga sinasabi nito. Wala naman ako kinukwento sa kanya. Biglang sinabi niya, by the way, tanggap ka na ng mother mo. Ha? Matagal na? Hindi. Kailan lang? Tanungin mo siya. And then, nung pagbalik ko, tinanong ko si mother, Ma,
Yeah.
kasi ang libangan namin ni mami, magpahula. Diyan kami nagbanding. Pupunta sa Quiapo, papahula. Gusto ni mami ng hula. Or meron akong kaibigan na manghula, pupunta namin. Tapos sabi ko, mapupunta ako sa friend ko manghuhula. Kamusta daw? Maganda ba hula sa'yo? Oo, maganda rin hula sa'yo. Ganyan. Tsaka sabi niya, natanggap mo na daw ako. Neto lang. Oo. Kinonfirm niya, neto lang talaga kita tinanggap yung kabaklaan ko daw. Ha? Bakit at paano? Ang sabi niya kasi, noon kasi umaasa pa akong mag-uuwi ka ng babae, magkakaapo ako sa iyo. Umaasa pa rin daw siya.
Mm.
Pero nung nakita niya akong umiyak sa lalaki, the one time nag-share ako sa kanya, and because of a guy, broken-hearted, doon niya raw na-realize na, ay bakla pala talaga anak ko. Kala niya it's just a phase or
Okay.
naglalaro lang ako.
Yeah.
Tumitikil lang, mga ganun. Yun lang. So, yun lang, side story lang.
No, at least, well, napaka-ano nun, na heartwarming na it took time, it took a while. At hindi na, gano'n naman talaga yung maganda na hindi siya minamadali lahat.
True.
Because kailangan din yun eh. And yung ano naman, parang follow-up question ko doon. Were you and your father, parang ano ba yung relationship niyo dati? And if ever, ano yung gusto mong sabihin sa kanya?
Therapy pala ito. Charot.
Go.
Send me the bills. I'll pay you, Char. Kasi kami ni Father, like what I mentioned a while ago, hindi siya ganon ka-cuddly or ka-sweet. But I know he's a good man. So wala kaming very open communication growing up. Mabibilang ko lang yan sa isang taon. Crucial ang growing up years natin eh. Mabibilang ko lang yan sa isang taon. Yung numbers na uuwi yan. Once a year. Kasi usually nasa Mindanao siya. Military eh. Uwi lang siya dito 5 days, 1 week. Tapos lilipad na naman siya sa Mindanao. Although there were times that we will go to Mindanao. Pero very, bilang lang sa 5 daliri ko yun.
Talaga?
So wala talaga kaming, ilang beses niya lang ako pinasyal. Once or twice, Manila Zoo. Parang Manila Zoo nga lang yung alam kong pinasyal niya ako. Although there was a time, the only bonding we had, I think, nung naiwan ako sa Zamboanga, when I was grade 6, lahat ng kapatid ko umuwi. I think traumatic sa akin yun. Lahat sila sumakay ng eroplano, yung pangalan ko wala. Sabi ko, ba't ganun? Ba't naiwan ako dito? And then 1 month ako nagstay sa kamag-anak namin and my dad was not there. I was left to my Muslim relatives, cousins.
Yeah.
And so sabi ko, kailan kaya uwi si daddy? Kailan niya ako kunin dito? Yung mga ganun. But there was a time, dumating na siya, so kinuha niya na ako. Ayan, nag-tour na kami sa Mindanao. Punta kami Cotabato, punta kami ng Cagayan. Binisita lang namin mga kamag-anak namin.
Talaga?
Yun lang. Tapos, umuwi na kami. Tapos after that, kasi yung mga kapatid ko, nag-C-130 lang pa uwi. Alam mo yung C-130?
Yes.
Military. Sumabay lang sila, kaya nakalista ang pangalan. Ako, nung umuwi ako, social, nakapal kami ni dad. Pero that time, mahal ang pamasahe when I was
correct.
So, yun lang yung, I think, yung very, very few bonding ko with my dad. Aside from the Manila so I had when I was young.
So, wala kayong talagang like conversation?
Wala masyado na heart to heart. Medyo maalaala mo kaya yung huling yung naalala ko na
Are you comfortable?
Open up kami at umiyak na naman ako.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a time kasi nga, here's the thing. My mom was diagnosed to be schizophrenic, especially when we were younger. Marami siyang detachment sa reality. As in, sumisigaw, nagbabato. The worst thing she did yung nagsunog siya ng kwarto, which is buti na abutan ko. And there was a time, and there are times sa alis siya ng bahay, hindi namin alam kung saan na pupunta. Nagugulat na lang kami may maghahatid sa bahay namin. Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Be?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, okay.
Saan ako na uli? Saan ako na-stop?
About your mom, na yung parang naabutan mo siya na nagsunog ng room.
Nagsunog ng room.
Yeah.
Buti na lang that time, half day ako sa school. Sabi ko, ba't may umuusok sa kabila? Natutulog ako sa kwarto ko. Shit. Pagtingin ko, pagpasok ko, yung cabinet namin, parang almost half na susunog na. And then siya, nakangiti lang, nakatingin sa cabinet na gano'n. Kasi nga, wala na siya, in touch na siya, out of touch na siya sa sanity niya. Napalo ko nga siya, gano'n. Tapos, hanap ako ng blanket, pinagpapalo ko yung ganun ang story ko talaga. Growing up, no? So, bakit nga ba ako napunta doon? Ano yung tanong mo?
Yung question ko is, din parang, wait, na-lost din ako sa question ko. Kasi I just allow you to cheat. Hindi, yun parang it's about your dad, yung kanina. Parang, kung wala ba talaga kayong parang like,
Ayun yung maalala mo kaya mo. There was a time na wala si Mami. Hindi namin alam saan nahanapin. And then, nasa Pasig. Nasa tito niya. Bali, lolo ko na.
mm,
Sa side niya yun na Christian si Mami. Sa side niya sa Pasig, si Lolo Pentong ko. And
mm,
then, so tumawag. Nandito Mami niyo, sunduin niyo. Punta kami ng kuya ko. College ako nito, kuya ko. Medyo early 20s niya na. Nag-work na siya. Marunong na siya mag-drive. Punta kami doon. Balik dito. Pagbalik dito, alam mo yung galit ko, sobrang galit ko na, ba't ganun? Ba't hindi ikaw maghanap, Dad? Sa isip-isip ko, ba't kailangan kami?
mm,
Kinahihiya mo ba kami? May ganong issue kasi si Daddy na alam ko, ngayon ko nare-realize, minsan kami magkakapatid, magkukwentuhan ngayon, medyo na-frustrate talaga siya sa amin because we didn't follow Islam.
oh,
Napaka-religious niya.
yeah.
Napaka-religious niya.
So no
Sagrado
from
Muslim Islam siya.
okay. So wala sa sibling kahit isa.
Wala. So, kaya I think hindi siya ma-effort sa family namin growing up. And that time, I connecting the dots backward. May mga kapatid na kasi kaming malalaki ngayon outside.
Mm.
That was the time na may bago siyang asawa na hindi namin alam.
Oh, okay.
Lumabas lang yan nung bago mamatay si Daddy na talagang hinanap namin. Dinala namin dito yung mga anak niya, yung asawa ng isa. Yun. Ano naman kami, we're in good terms with them, communication. Tinutulungan pa nga namin yan financially pag kailangan. Even my mom would help
Yeah.
the other spouse
Mm.
kasi malalaki na naman na. But yun, during that time, it's a crazy, somewhat. Fortunate pa rin, but it's somewhat crazy in terms of the dynamics of the family that we've had.
Mm-mm.
Ganon. Muslim siya That's his, that's his culture. He has the leverage to have second wife, even third wife.
So yun yung nangyari. And then, ano pala, parang just to, parang hindi mo ba siya tinry or ano yung, I want to see the perspective kasi from your dad. So, di ba sabi mo you went to your relatives. Ano yung parang fond memories mo doon? Parang just to check on,
Sa Mindanao?
yeah.
I thank you. There was a time, I thank you. I have another memory with my dad. There was a time nagpunta kami sa Santa Cruz Island. If you're familiar with Santa Cruz Island in Zamboanga.
Mm-hmm.
So, yung mga kapatid ko hindi nakapunta doon. Ako nakapunta. So, effort yun.
Mm-hmm.
That was across the military station. Basta maganda yung island na yun. Medyo white sand. So, I think, looking back, the memory, I'm picturing him right now. Yun, masaya yun. Masaya yung time na yun na umeffort si Daddy.
Yeah.
Yun lang yung sabi ko sa'yo, mabibilang ko lang yung mga fun memory ko sa
Hindi,
kanya.
parang maganda din kasi yung nabibilang kasi those memories are like real, di ba? Na parang babalikan mo siya, hindi siya magulo kung titingnan mo sa memory mo. At least, tapos you get to understand ano yung content ng memory na yun. Di ba? Kung nasaan na siya, let's say it's a memory bottle, yung mga ganon. Na eksena. And ano lang, parang with those memories that you had with your dad, ano yung gusto mong sabihin? Parang what message ano yung message na gusto mong sabihin sa kanya? Kahit hindi niya, of course, maririnig niya, di ba? Parang, what one message that you want to say to him?
Nakakaiyak naman to. Gaga ka. Siguro, nakakainis ka, Stephen. Siguro, nasabihan ko naman siyang I love you sa text nung medyo bedridden na siya. Dito siya namatay, hindi naman namatay. Dito siya na bedridden sa sala. Nasabihan ko siyang I love you, hindi ko alam kung na-gets niya yun. Nokia pa yun. Tapos, yun, sa hospital, nabulungan ko siyang I love you. Siguro yun ang sasabihin ko sa kanya na, Dad, there was a time nung lalo na naging awardee ako sa insurance way back. Napaka-aggressive ko sa sales. Sumakyat ako ng stage. Kasi early 30s ko yun na parang sabi ko, at that time, mga 2 years pa lang patay si Daddy. Sabi ko, 2 years or 1 year. Sabi ko, Dad, this is for you. Sayang, in my prayer, silent prayer na, sayang hindi mo na witness, how successful I can be. Kasi wala akong stable job ever eh.
Mm.
In my 20s, I keep on hopping from one job to another. Wala nga, ang gulo-gulo ng usap ko. Kasi nga, I'm dealing with my
With a
identity,
lot, yeah.
sexuality, and all. So yung professional life ko, sabog na sabog din. Wala
Mm.
akong conviction. Ang self-worth ko, hindi ko alam. Mga things like that. But ang masasabi ko lang kay daddy niya, siguro, and I know he's listening, as
Mm.
my angel, one of my angels, that I love you, Dad, and thank you for thank you for creating me, for being a co-creator of, you know, who I am right now. Yun lang. Simplihan na lang natin.
Yeah. We'll make it very ano lang siya, parang warm lang yung message.
Mm.
Of course, definitely, di ba, as the recording goes on, maririnig niyo naman lahat ng sinasabi. And ano lang eh, parang I'm trying to dig in as well with your memory. So nakakatuwa na. Ganun yung flow with your timeline. Sa ito naman, we go,
Nakakaloka talagang nangyayari to ngayon before my 48th year, no?
yes, I know.
may, may
Tawag dun
recall.
is divine timing.
Correct. May
So,
down memory lane talaga ito.
ito naman, alam ko naman na you have lots of friends na nag-endure through time. Like, madami kang friends, like outside the activism or the advocacy, the work that you do. Ano, ano yung, do you think na secret ng long-lasting na friendship? At also, para baging tips mo na din sa mga listeners natin.
Iba-iba naman kasi ang curriculum ng friendship. But
Yes.
in my case, I think natutunan kong it may not sound good to others,
Mm.
pero narinig ko rin kasi ito sa isang spiritual guru eh. Tolerance.
Mm.
Tolerance. Because there's no such thing as perfect person or individual. In the same way that I think my friends are also tolerating my idiosyncrasies or whatever
Mm.
flaws I have. So I think for friendship to really last and evolve and grow and expand, there has to be some tolerance eh. And then eventually acceptance.
No?
Ganun lang yun eh. Flaw and all, good side and bad side of the person, embrace mo yan eh.
Yeah.
Kung narcissistic friend mo, yung basta hindi toxic yung hindi na
Yeah.
nakaka-drain,
Oo.
go ahead. Tanggapin mo yan siya eh. Ganun lang, I think. Ganun lang siya. Give and take, give and receive lang siya.
True.
Make space. Ganun.
Yeah. Di kasi parang natanong ko yan, that's very, parang kailangan siyang malaman ng mga listeners, yung mga gano'n na paano ba natin yan magiging, kasi baka merong secret ingredient, but well, that's one. And I know mas madami pa talaga that they need to know as they go along with their life, and then to find people na pag, ako din naniniwala ako na it's not always with the number of years of friendship. It's always like how the depth.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Like kung gaano kalalim.
Yeah.
Meron kasing friend na okay na you get along lang and then suddenly parang okay wala na. Parang at some point at that season lang pala 'yun. 'Di ba? Then suddenly merong iba na it lasted for like a lifetime or longer than that. And I think we need also to,
And it's okay, no? Tama, no, Stephen? It's okay.
it
I
is, yeah,
think the universe will give you certain people that you need in that particular moment of your life.
very true.
So merong seasonal,
Yeah.
merong for all season.
Mm.
Alam mo 'yun? So and the
Cliche
same thing with them, yeah. May
yes.
Vilma Santos, may Nora Honor. So iba-iba siya eh. So I guess sabi nga nila no, the universe will give you what you need. Perhaps you needed to meet that person because it wants you to learn something,
Correct.
so relationship-wise, most especially.
Mm.
Diba? Everything is relationship eh. Ako naniniwala ako doon. Bilang isang relational person talaga ako. That you learn from your relationship eh. May it be friendship, may it be a partner, or,
Mm.
an intimate partner. May it be your parents, your siblings. Yon.
I love this that you highlight that you learn from all of those relationships. And sa akin din naman, parang just to add as well, I know that every person or people or that we've met is always important. Parang whatever that is, ano siya, naging, it's always significant. Parang, I don't know, naging ano ko din siya na, kaya din siguro I don't have really grudges with people, even though they have, like,
Mhm.
may mga ano naman talaga, but sometimes sinashrug off ko na lang na, alam mo kasing important din siya at some point na dumaan siya sa buhay mo. And mahirap, oo, mahirap. Like you mentioned kanina, to cut off people. And I think it's also the best way, 'di ba, for you to continue with your journey. And ang ano na naman dun is we always know who we can talk to, who matters, who cares. And as simple as that. Parang
Correct.
ang simpleng isipin, parang ang hirap gawin. 'Di ba?
Mm, mm.
Oh my God. So, okay. Yung next question ko naman, bang. Parang gusto ko to. Nagugustuhan ko na yung bang. It's a big bang.
Big Bang.
Yeah.
Bang me more, ganyan.
Oo.
Bang me more. Ganyan.
Ito naman, I know that your state of yung relationship mo ngayon is really like super good. I want to know, ano yung magiging best love advice mo? Give me three.
3. Give
Three.
me 3.
Oo.
Um, number 1.
Mm-mm.
Number 1 talaga. Mahalin mo muna yung sarili mo.
True.
I think it's a prerequisite
It is.
that it may not be full or 100%. Okay lang yan. Basta be in that state na mahalin mo muna yung sarili mo because it's much, much easier to love somebody, accept, bring him to your world and vice versa kung mahal mo yung sarili mo. And you get to attract the person na buo rin yung pagmamahal if you first love yourself. It's very true to the wisdom of RuPaul. How the hell can you love other people when you don't love
Yeah,
yourself? Diba?
very true.
So I think that's the number 1. And then second would be, I think, is that it's a process. I don't believe in love at first sight.
Mm.
That over, I don't believe in that. Maybe perhaps very few, but I believe in it takes time to really develop a healthy kind of love with another person. May breakthrough yan. Hindi siya yung love na kita, ang bilis.
Yeah,
Pwedeng love-laban. And then palalim yan ng palalim. I
yeah.
remember, siguro sabi nga ni Simon Sinek once said, diba, it's not about um, intensity. It's about consistency. So eventually, when you are consistent to your partner, then you get to, ako personally, in my case, I learn how to deeply love the person. Lalo na ngayong pandemic, Diyos ko. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of relationship. That was a moment of make or break to many people who's in a relationship during pandemic. Kasi nakatira kasi sa isang bahay,
Mm.
lahat ng dynamics ninyo, kitang-kita ninyo, 'di
Correct.
ba? So it's either a make or break. So that's my second advice, no? First is love yourself. Second was, ano nga ba yung second ko? Nakalimutan.
Second
It's
is
a
process.
process.
The process. Yeah.
It's an evolutionary process. And I think the third is, yun nga, stay consistent. Have a consistent act of love to your to your partner. And and kakibat na rin yun, know the love language of your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi when you know the love language of your partner, then you know how to approach him.
No.
And if hopefully that your partner will also know, become more aware and sensitive to your love language. For example, my love language is touch and time. Mahilig talaga ako sa titi. Touch and time.
Touch and time. That's hashtag
Touch and
touch and
time.
time.
No, titi. Ay, mahilig ako. Who wouldn't love titi? So touch and time talaga ako. So spending time with him, yan ang love language ko, alam niya yan. And then cuddling and touching. Yan yung mga gusto ko, ganyan. Siya, ang love language ng partner ko is service. So paglingkuran mo yan, service. Ano pa ba? List sa amin ng gifts Pero of course, if you can touch all those five love languages, diba? Gifts, time, acts of service. Ano rin siya, words of affirmation.
No?
So yun yung love language niya. Very important yun.
Okay. You. Thank you for that advice. So, ito naman tayo. Forward na tayo. Sige, dito muna ako sa ano. Bago yung... Yeah. We're gonna change the flow of the question. So, yung next question.
Hello.
Ito naman, how was the ano, parang... I think I just made this question like kanina, like to really edit it agad na sort of naging ano parang comeback yung ginawa mo for the HIV activism right now. 'Di ba no? And then I want to know ano yung naging impact sa iyo lalo na at nangyari siya sa pandemic.
Side story lang. Kasi nung dumating yung pandemic, sabi ko, ay, mas merong matinding ano na, pandemic. Naitsipwera na si HIV, parang gano'n. Hindi na ako
Oh,
magiging active dito. Parang gano'n yung naisip ko.
okay.
Ano na?
So I mean like yun pala yung ano mo parang point of realization.
Medyo, parang
Mm,
everybody was so preoccupied by the COVID thing.
mm,
So, sige, laylo muna ako. Wala naman din akong action na nakikita eh. Hindi naman ako, kasi normally, what would I do lang naman is, I just do a lot of interviews. For example, lalo na pagpalapit na ang World AIDS Day,
yeah,
so
yeah,
people
yeah.
would contact me, and then I would, since I have the gift of gab and malakas ang loob ko, and I'm open, and my family just let me do whatever I do. My partner just let me do whatever I do. Parang malaya nga ako. Freedom is one of my number one values eh.
Mm.
So, doon lang ako masyadong active na actually. And then, but because of COVID, nawala. Going back to your question, comebacking. What was your question again?
Yeah,
Ano yung
parang
nag-i-impact?
naging impact sa iyo. Like I want to go into the personal level. How was your comeback? A sort of comeback nga.
Comeback!
Comeback of the
Parang ano lang, no? Showbiz.
Oo, naging ano. Kasi pa somehow sabi mo diba na nag-lay low ka muna at some point and then you focus onto your life. Well, usually ganun nangyayari. It's always like that if you're active and then eventually subside yan. Like lay low, ano muna, lurk lang muna. Then right now,
Ah.
ang parang ang timing niya is on the pandemic pa that you're visible again, 'di ba? So ano yung naging impact sa iyo? So I want to know on that perspective.
Ako naging impact sa akin, there are still a lot of people who needs, who needs to know more about the subject HIV.
Mm,
In fact, with the vlog that I did, ang dami pa rin nagme-message, no? Left and right, strangers who would
mm,
approach me, who would ask for help, who would ask for lakas ng loob, who would ask for where to access this, where to access that. Things like that, yung mga ganun-ganung mga um, bagay, which makes me realize I still have a role to play,
mm.
no?
And so
And
much things to do. Yeah.
so much things to do, and I think it's not an accident that God, sorry if I sounded like,
It's okay.
like this or preachy that, and the mere fact that nagkakonek-connect tayo nila Inad, alam mo mga ganung bagay, pati nila Ben and Carlo, the zero discordant couple, that there's still a lot of things that needs to be done,
Mm,
and not to shy away from the good things that we can contribute. I can personally contribute
mm.
to the community, not just in LGBT, but
Yeah.
even to, outside,
Inclusion.
mag-expand pa yan eh.
Mm,
Kasi I've always wanted to make my message that HIV is not about, there are a lot of empowered people living with HIV.
mm.
And that's the kind of representation that I want to show the world, the universe rather, that I'm confidently beautiful with a heart. Diba?
Pero
So,
totoo, on that perspective, I think we need to not just create, but to really, if well, creating is the first step. We need to hone talaga, no? Magkaroon tayo ng mga empowered PLHABs. You can really talk, and it's always like,
mm,
iba yung power when it comes from the community, it's especially led talaga ng community, di ba? Parang,
Correct, correct,
We have it.
correct.
So
Of
why?
course, I don't want to invalidate naman people who really experience discrimination or who really
Yeah.
got maltreated or undermined
Mm,
or 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 failing to have access to medicine because they are marginalized or in a remote places. Of course, there are cases like that. But
mm,
it's just one facet eh. Meron pang iba-iba yan. Marami tayong storya eh.
yeah.
Marami tayong storya. In my lane, for example, di ba, choose your lane nga, di ba? Choose
Yes.
your battlefield.
Mm,
This is the kind of lane that I want to show and uh, the message that I want to come
mm,
across.
mm.
And I think that's the reason why we get connected. You know, you Inad me.
True.
Of
And
course, may
also,
similarity.
parang napaka-timing din because of course, a few weeks from now, it's gonna be World AIDS Day once again.
Aha, oo nga, no?
And ano nga eh, parang when I was checking, it's the 33rd year for World AIDS Day since it started.
Mm.
So 1988 pala siya nag-start. Na yung parang sineselebrate ko siya every year. And then of course, I agree to what you've mentioned a while ago that even though there's pandemic, we don't dapat hindi natin kalimutan that this epidemic has been here for 40 years. And
Yeah,
yung nangyari, 'di ba? Parang
correct.
bakit napag-iwanan, 'di ba? So it's time din na napag-uusapan siya and well maging maingay din tayo at some point. Pero yung ingay dapat coming from the community mismo, 'di ba? We all know what are the layers and layers of mga nangyayari din to the community. So anyway, my follow-up question for that. I've asked this with other speakers. Um, how do you know when to speak up or to stay quiet?
I think it's related to the ano eh. It's related to you speak when you know you're coming from the space of love. You shut up when you realize that you're coming from the space of fear because it will not turn out to be good, 'di ba?
Oh, yeah,
It will not turn out good kasi fear siya eh. Scarcity. What are the byproducts of fear?
true.
Scarcity, jealousy,
Mm-mm.
all the chaotic things might can happen. But I think if you're coming from the space of love, what are the byproducts of love? Courage,
Yeah.
honesty, loyalty, all of those virtues and values will just come out,
Mm,
diba? Creativity, resourcefulness, which is the very essence of the human race, our humanity. Kaya
true.
nga tayo, 'di ba? It 'Di ba? A lot of spiritual people would say we are created in the image and likeness of God.
Mm,
And the closest that we can be, that we can associate ourselves with God is because of these virtues, these values: honesty, creativity, loyalty, um, even punctuality, lahat yan, which are all byproducts of love. So love.
yeah. Well, those are really true that kailangan siya, yung mga virtues na yun. So anyway, eto naman, this is somehow connected kanina about the activism. I know that um, you're close to seventh year now, so you're in sixth year na, di ba? As a HIV positive,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, somehow I just want to get in touch with that. I know that you're out in the public about this, and I want to know how did you feel about disclosing your HIV status? Can we go back to that timeline? And may follow-up question ako din. Tapos sino nag-motivate sa'yo pala?
Okay. So again, it was a process. It's not an overnight thing. Um, the first thing that came to my mind is for share to my mom.
Mm,
Very first thing. So an hour after I was diagnosed, I already called my mom and told her that I was positive. And then my mother told me that,
mm,
ano may sinabi ni mother ko, alam mo anak, I think early detection ka naman kasi you look healthy. You just take your medicine and you'll be okay. So
mm,
that was her statement. And I think it was a statement of love. And up to this time, it has been my anchor up to this day. I will always say that to my sharings, to my testimony. My
mm.
mom is one of my great anchors,
Yeah.
especially in my advocacy. That I will always tell that family should be the first line of defense talaga for people who would turn out to be positive. In fact, nung nalaman ng mother ko, tinext niya yung kuya ko, tinawagan ako, yung kuya ko, tinext yung ate ko, tinext yung isang ate ko. So in one night, in one day, alam na kagad ng buong pamilya ko, di ba? So nawalan na ako ng problema how to come out with my family. No, parang they called me, kaya mo yan. There was a strong support. Definitely, there was a strong support. But I still have to educate them. I
Correct.
still have to educate them. And that there were times that they don't agree 100% me coming out in the public. But sa akin kasi, if I could not educate my family, that was my challenge. That was my challenge for myself. Sabi ko sa'yo, risk taker ako. If I
Yeah.
cannot educate my family, how the hell can I educate people outside my family? So
No.
inuna ko yung familya ko. So alam ko, hindi sila 100% na me coming out. Pero
Mm.
alam ko, maiintindihan nila to. It took a while for them to understand. And that's why when I came out to the bottom line,
Mm.
doon, ito yung heartwarming scenario ko. May GC nga kami, di ba? Sabi ng kuya ko, "Uy guys, panoorin niyo si Jabbar, lalabas na siya sa bottom line." Ganun. Kuya ko yung medyo proud talaga sa akin. He was even the one who encouraged me to join Pugay. If you know Pugay, yun sa Showtime.
Yeah. Dati
Ayun.
talaga.
Sumali ako, hanapin mo yung Pugay na video ko. It was really my brother. My brother would tell me, "Tol, kaya mo yan. Sumali ka kaya dyan." Ay nako, wala akong panahon yan. Ganyan siya. So
Mm.
my brother would always encourage me because he believes in my speaking talent.
Mm.
So parang ganun. But going back, alam mo, after the bottom line, nanood yung kuya ko sa office niya pa ha, overnight, pati yung buong kasama niya. Kasi kilala na rin ako ng mga kasama niyang friends niya sa office. And they were watching bottom line 12 in the midnight. And
Mm.
then, Tol, ang galing mo daw sumagot, sabi ng mga ka-office mate ko. Ganyan. Talagang all-out support siya. And then
Mm.
towards the end of his statement, sabi lang ng kuya ko na, "I'm proud of you. Pasensya ka na kung hindi ka namin naintindihan noon na ito pala yung mission at purpose mo. That's why you're telling the world your story."
Aw.
Ganun. It took Boy Abunda, of course it's Boy Abunda, my
Mm.
credibility, to make my family fully realize that I'm doing this not just for myself, but there are people who are dying to hear stories of empowerment for them to also elevate their consciousness and their understanding and their knowledge about the subject HIV. So
Mm.
yun siya. But before that, prior to that, back up, one of the reason why come out in public, pwede namang hindi kasi alam naman ng some of my few trusted friends and family,
Correct.
why come out? Back in 2016 October, I was invited by a group of people, okay, a group of people, PLHIV people, sama-sama kami. Nanay Elena Felix was one of them, first time I met her. And then they wanted to amend Republic Act 85, ano nga ba yun?
04, 8504, and then naging ano na siya.
Ayun, 8504. And now, Republic Act 1116. And then in that time, may pumasok na isang nanay, may hawak na bata. Little girl, baby girl, 2-year-old girl. Hindi ko alam kung na-mention ko na sa ito, be.
You did.
And I did na. Yun yung story. And then, yun, that was the story. And then, sabi ko nga, tinanong ko yung nanay, "Nay, bakit may bata? Anong ginagawa niya dito?" "Ay, nako anak, hindi ako yung positive, yung baby girl." The
Mm.
baby girl was positive, turned out to be positive. And then, sabi ko, "Shoot, paano po siya umiinom ng gamot?" Dinudurog ko, tapos hinahalo ko sa gatas niya. Kasi nagkaroon ng komplikasyon yung bata.
Mm.
And to that moment, my prayer then was, Lord, silent prayer, Lord, use me, use me, use my life. Someone needs to stand for the little girl. True enough, after 2 months, I was invited to World AIDS Day 2016, December 1 to Quezon City Circle. And then there was an inquirer there na reporter. And
Mm.
then she tweeted my sharing with the picture. And then that was also kasagsagan of political upsurge doon na pag politiko talaga ayoko na nagde-drain na ako, natotoxican ako. So what I did, maiba lang, it was
Yeah,
about
I know.
basta the administration. I think it was election 2016. Tama ba?
Mm.
O parang ganon. O may bagong panalong presidente or what. So what I did, I posted my tweet. Screenshot ko, o para maiba naman, gumanon lang ako. And that was the first super public. That a lot, umabot ako ng libo sa likes and everything. Sabi ko, shoots, ang galing. I admire your courage, I admire your bravery, mga ganon. People would support me. There was really a big clamor of support. Which I so appreciated then. Mas
Mm.
na-encourage ako. That was 2016. And then tuloy-tuloy na. Invited,
Tuloy-tuloy na
got
siya.
invite
Yeah,
for
yeah. Mm.
some talks. And so, sabi ko nga, so there's a reason, there's a purpose, there's a mission. Yeah.
Yeah, and ano lang siya, I think we've been talking about this, that every PLHIV and the stories really matters, 'di ba? So parang kailangan din marinig lahat. Not just yung not just like we need to have more people living with HIV who can really talk and share their stories, na makita nila na it's not about a life sentence anymore. It's different right now. Ano naman yan, I think that the discussion and the movement also vehicles to parang that's also part na malaking factor din siya, that we need to educate everyone, not just the community but also outside the community regarding this. So
Correct. Correct.
yung next question ko is ano naisip ko, I think I need to ask you this. Ano naman
Sige
siya?
lang.
Um, do you believe in love after life?
Afterlife? Love after life? What do
Yeah.
you mean? When I die?
Yeah.
That there's love when I die?
Oo. Or how you
Totoo ba
interpret
yan?
the question. Yes, do you believe in love after life?
I think everything is about love naman, although we don't know kasi what's really,
Yun nga.
what's there.
Oo.
What's there, di ba? What's really there? Because my understanding, Stephen, is, or Gray, my understanding kasi, our consciousness and spirituality is limited with our physical senses right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And that limits us. That limits our understanding of the whole schema of the universe. So yes, I do believe there is love after life. I think it's the operating currency of the whole universe.
True. Now, there's always
Diba?
love. It's always
It's
anchored.
always love. It's the operating currency of the universe. Without love, I don't think there will be galaxies. There will be
No.
ants. There will be
Correct.
microbes. It's all love.
Oh,
Maybe not in a definition of a romanticized definition of love, but these are all process of creation. And what is creation or creativity? It's a byproduct of love. Come on. 'Di ba?
yes.
Yun lang yung limited description ko siguro dun. And yes, I believe in love after life.
Sige, ito, I'm down. I actually, paano na tayo? Like, we're going to closing na. I want to know, what life advice would you like to pass on? Pwedeng advice or advices that you would like to pass on
Kanino?
to everyone, to our listeners,
Everyone.
to people, life advice.
Ooh. Actually, it's kind of difficult to give advice because my belief, before I answer that, no, Stephen, my belief is because everybody has a different life curriculum naman. Eh.
Mm,
Diba? It's highly customized, it's highly personalized. Iba ang curve at curriculum at journey ng buhay mo sa buhay ko.
correct.
But again, to answer your question, what advice at saang aspeto? Siguro sa aspeto na lang ng keep on keeping on. Just keep swimming. Sabi nga ni Dory ng
Diba?
Nemo, Finding Nemo.
Mm,
Just keep swimming. And in the process of swimming or traversing this life journey, never forget to enjoy life. Never forget to enjoy life. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And always, 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 always be grateful. Be grateful. It took me a while to really say thank you. Even yung bariyang ibibigay ko sa fast food, pag
oo.
lalabas ka ng pera, minsan sabi ko, shoot, ang bilis ng pera sa wallet. Pero I would say thank you.
Yeah.
Arigato gozaimasu, silent prayer,
Mm,
bibigay ko yan. Because, natutunan ko to kay Ken Honda eh. Ken Honda, you can find in his YouTube. Si Ken Honda is like a Japanese Zen millionaire. Yan
mm.
ang teaching niya na always say thank you, especially in the field of finances. Na madalas, nagte-thank you lang tayo pag may pumapasok na pera, pero pag lalabas na, magbabayad tayo ng tax, di na tayo magpapasalamat. So, So
Mm.
be thankful pa rin pag may lumabas. It's a flow eh. Parang flow ang buhay. Wax in, wax out. Karate Kid.
Oh,
So money in, money out. So ganun lang siya. And life is also like that.
mm.
In love, it's also like that.
There's always
There
that,
will
kumbaga.
it's always two sides, 'di ba?
Yeah.
When there is dark, there is light. When there is morning, there is evening. Laging ganun siya eh. In friendship, when there is fear, there is love then. It
Mm.
coexists actually. You cannot just put aside fear. Fear is there for a reason, for a purpose.
No.
Instinctive fear is important because if we don't have instinctive fear, paano kung may bangin? Hindi ka tatakbo. Siyempre matatakot ka automatic, di ba? Or may ahas sa gilid. So
Correct.
I think, yun nga, ang advice ko lang talaga is, enjoy life in a very responsible way.
Okay.
Enjoy life in a very responsible way. I
Sige.
hope I'm making sense.
You are making sense. Like, those things are simple sila, pero it's really like yung lalim ng meaning. 'Di ba parang we all know that even the simple things has like deeper pala yung impact sa mga tao. So sometimes kasi na ano tayo, na parang ano yung
We
naka-fixate
overthink, we overanalyze, we try to
na.
intellectualize a lot of things.
Correct na dapat gano'n, but it's always like even the
Mhm.
simple things really, kahit sabihin natin ang hirap-hirap gawin pero kailangan siya. And those are
Mhm.
things are basic, it may seem, but these are really true, and
True.
guiding principle, a guiding lesson yan for everyone. So eto na tayo. I am down to my last two.
Aha! Bring it on.
Eto naman. Why do you think every story matters?
Hmm. I think every story matters because we are all part of the great schema of, eto na naman ako, great schema of the universe, of the world.
Mm,
We are all connected in one way or the other. Um, that's why it's very good that we have this internet. It makes us even more connected, di ba? Use
correct.
it in a good way. Maganda ang technology talaga. Every story matters because there are people out there who's dying to hear stories of somebody that could probably help them in their present situation. Di
Mm,
ba?
yeah.
Somebody perhaps is looking for a story, a very inspiring story. Maybe my story, maybe your story in your locality there in Mindanao,
Mm,
mine here in NCR, 'di ba? Inad maybe in Thailand. And that's why I think stories are very important because people will learn from your story, and then when they learn from your story, from everybody's story, they will also do the same in the generation next to the generation and generations. So, pasa-pasa load lang eh. So,
yes.
I think that's why it matters.
Yeah. Okay. For my last question, I know you're 40 in the next few days. What's your greatest wish?
Una sa lahat, it will stop at 40 na ha. Mag-stop ng edad ko dyan. My greatest wish talaga,
Hmm.
saang aspeto? Ang dami eh.
You can give as many as you want. Wishes on your
Hindi ko
birthday.
alam, unang pumasok sa isip ko, contentment and peace of mind eh. Although I have it,
Yeah.
siguro it's a more sustainable contentment and peace of mind. Na-achieve ko naman siya eh.
Okay.
Um, but then again, minsan may kick in ako sa buhay ko na goal-oriented eh. May
Mm,
kick in ako sa buhay na ba't di ko pa na-achieve to, ba't di ko pa na-achieve yan. May ganun minsan, no?
mm.
But I wanted to have a really deep sense of contentment and peace of mind. Whether I achieve it or not, it's gonna be okay. Yun
No.
yung gusto kong Yun yung gusto kong state of mind and state of heart ko.
Correct.
Because I think when I have that kind of energy, I would also give others the permission to also feel the same. And so
Oh,
therefore, di ba, mas world peace. Charot.
Tol, meron akong pahabol to really close the first segment. Describe
Okay.
life in 6 to 9 words.
I'm sorry?
Describe your life in 6 to 9 words.
Life is miraculous, amazing, surprising, and it is a great gift.
There you have it. Okay. You got it. 9 words. Love it. Okay. Eto na tayo. So for my next segment naman, Jobs, eto yung backstock. So I'll be giving you words and then just say your first thoughts. Ganun na siya ka-easy yung segment na to really, to get to know you more. I've no mas nakilala kita during this conversation kasi it's more of like personal and also it's more than lighthearted nga eh. Parang warm yata eh.
Sige, sige.
Ito yung first na word. Your first word is travel.
Travel. Ano nga ba yung gagawin ko ulit? Sorry.
First thoughts. What are your first thoughts for
First,
when you
for
heard?
that word, travel, beach.
Okay. Next word, limits.
Limits, freedom.
Next word, let go.
Huh? Let go.
Yes.
Let go. Peace of mind.
Next word, listening.
It's a gift.
Next word, pandemic.
Rehabilitation.
Next word, acceptance.
Forgiveness.
Next word, meaning.
Purpose.
Next is gratitude.
Humility.
Next, time.
Gift. It's a gift.
Okay. Next word is power.
Responsibility.
Next word, growing up.
Evolution.
It is, diba? Okay. Or the next word is belongingness.
Love. That's love. Compassion or love. Meaning.
Next word naman is healing.
Healing. Healing is, I think, acceptance, and it's also health. Healing, eh? Healthy living.
Yeah. Next word is authenticity.
Authenticity is, of course, being true to yourself.
Mm.
Truthfulness or truth.
Next word is life.
Life is fun. Life is rainbow.
Why not? Next word naman is love.
Love is God.
Mm.
Love is God. Not in a religious context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next word, moment.
Moment. Presence. Presence. Yeah.
And for I think I'm down to my last two. Last two is empathy.
Empathy. Shoes ang naisip ko eh. So putting yourself in the shoes of others. Yung naisip ko, shoes.
Oh,
Symbol. Shoes.
diba? That's the symbol that you connect to empathy.
Yeah.
And faith.
Faith is light. Eh. It makes life lighter when you have faith. Kasi walang guarantee, pero you're doing it.
Yeah. And then for my last word is backstory.
Fabulous.
Ah, it's fine.
Mm,
I hope you
fabulous.
enjoyed our backstory, and then thank you for for this time, and of course for the present and for this moment that we online. And I
Thank
hope
you then, Stephen. Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu. Maraming salamat.
yes, and I hope to see you very soon. Thank you.
Oh, definitely. We'll drink the whole night. Char. Wine, wine, wine.
Good evening. Good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Good night. God bless.